Let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture and close the eyes. Put the attention on the silence that's always there deep in the mind. Connect with that deep inner silence. This is the silent witness. You are the silent witness. Now, from this platform of the eternal now, listen to the Yoga Vasishta. Book 5, Chapter 18, continuing with verse 19. His spirit fled like the fragrance of a flower to that empty space which is ever tranquil, free from attributes and thought, and the nature of pure consciousness, the silent witness. The sage's wife, finding the lifeless body lying on the ground, fell down upon it and remained motionless, like a lotus flower plucked from its stalk. She also was long accustomed to the practice of yoga, according to her husband's instruction. So she left her undecayed body like a bee flits from an unfaded flower into empty air. Unseen by men, her soul followed her husband's as the light of stars disappear in the sky at the dawn of the day. Seeing the death of both parents, the elder son, Punya, was busily employed in the performing of their funeral services. But the younger, Pavana, was deeply absorbed in grief at their loss. Being overwhelmed by the sorrow in his mind, he wandered about in the woods. Not having the firmness of his elder brother, he continued to wail in his mourning. The magnanimous Punya performed the funeral ceremonies for his parents, and then went in search of his brother, mourning in the woods. Punya said, "My boy, why is your soul overcast by the cloud of your grief? Why do you shed tears from your lotus eyes as profusely as rain showers, only to render you blind?" Know, my intelligent boy, that both your father and mother have gone to their ultimate blissful state in the supreme spirit, the silent witness, called the state of salvation or liberation. That is the last resort of all living beings. And that is the blessed state of all self-subdued souls. And why mourn for them? Who have returned and reunited with their own proper nature. You vainly indulge yourself in false and fruitless grief. You are mourning for what is not to be mourned at all. Neither is she your mother, nor he your father. You are not the only son of them. Who have had numerous children in their repeated births. You also have had thousands of fathers and mothers in your bygone births. Inasmuch as there are many streams of running waters in every forest. You are not the only son of they who had innumerable sons before you. Generations of men have passed away like the currents of a running stream. Our parents who had numberless children in their past lives, and the branches of human generation are as numerous as the innumerable flowers and fruit on trees. The numbers of our friends and relatives in our repeated lives in this world have been as great as the innumerable flowers and fruit of a large tree in all its many seasons. If we are to lament over the loss of our parents and children who are dead and gone, then why not also lament those we have lost and left behind in all our past lives? It is all only a delusion, oh my fortunate boy, that is presented before us in this elusive world. In truth, oh my conscious child, we have nobody who may call to be our friends or positive enemies in this world. In a true sense, there is no loss of anybody or anything in this world. It is only that they appear to exist and disappear like the appearance of water in a mirage in the dry desert. The royal dignity that you may see, adorned with a stately umbrella and flapping fans, is only a dream that lasts for a few days. Consider these phenomena in their true light. And, my boy, you will find that none of these, nor ourselves, nor any one of us, is to last forever. Therefore, shun your error of the passing world from your mind forever. That these are dead and gone and these others exist before us are only errors of our minds and creatures of our false notions and fond desires. There is no reality in them. Our notions and desires, past and present, paint these various changes before our sight like sunshine, presenting water in a mirage. So our fantasies, working in the field of our ignorance, produce the false conceptions that roll on like current events in the eventful ocean of the world, bringing the waves of favorable and unfavorable events to us. Chapter 20. Punya reasons with Pavana. Punya said, "Who is our father and who our mother? Who are our friends and relatives, except our notion of them as such? Friends and relatives are like dust raised by the gusts of our fancy. The conceptions of friends and enemies and our sons and relatives are the products of our affection and hatred of them. These being the effects of our ignorance and are soon made to disappear into airy nothing upon the enlightenment of understanding. The thought of one as a friend makes him a friend. Thinking one as an enemy makes him an enemy. The knowledge of a thing as money and as another as poison is owing to our opinions of them. There being only one universal soul, the silent witness, equally pervading the whole, there can be no reason to conceive of one as a friend and another as an enemy. My boy, of what you are, what makes your identity when your body is only a composition of bones and ribs, flesh and blood, and not yourself? Being viewed in this true light, there is nothing as myself or yourself. A fallacy of our understanding makes me think of me as Punya and you as Pavana. Who is your father? And who is your son? Who is your mother? And who your friend? One supreme self, the silent witness, pervades all infinity. Who do you call the self and who the not self? If you are a spiritual substance and have undergone many births, then you have had many friends and properties in your past life. Why do you not think of them also? You had many friends and flowery fields where you pastured in your former form of a stag. Why do you not think of those deer who were once your dear companions? Why do you not lament for your lost swan companion on the pleasant pool of lotuses, where you did dive and swim about in the form of a gander? Why not lament your fellow trees in the forest, where you once stood as a stately tree? You had lion comrades on the rugged mountain ranges. Why do you not lament them also? You had many mates among the fish in the clear lakes decked with lotuses. why not lament your separation from them? You are a monkey in the gray and green woods of the country of Dasarna. You are a prince in the land of frost and a raven in the woods of Pundra. You were an elephant in the land of Alhayas and an ass in that of Trigarta. You became a dog in the country of Salya and a bird in the woods of Sarala trees. You have been a peepal tree in the Vindhya mountains and a wood insect in a large oak tree. You were a cock on Mandara mountain, then born as a Brahmin in one of its caves. You were a Brahmin in Kosala and a partridge in Bengal. You were a horse on the snowy land and a beast in the sacred ground of Brahma at Pushkar. You were an insect in the trunk of a palm tree, a gnat in a big tree, and a crane in the woods of Vindhya. Now you are my younger brother. You have been an ant for 6 months and laid within the thin bark of a Bogapitrata tree in a glen of the Himalayan hills. Now you are born as my younger brother. You've been a centipede in a dunghill at a distant village where you lived for 1.5 years. Now you have become my younger brother. Once you were the child of a Pulinda tribal woman, and you lived on her breast like the honey-sucking bee on the core of a lotus. That same person is now my brother. In this manner, my boy, you were born in many other shapes and had to wander all about Asia for numberless years. And now you are my younger brother. Thus I see the past states of your existence, caused by the prior desires of your soul. I see all this by my clear discernment and all-viewing sight. I also remember several births that I had to undergo in my state of ignorance, which I see clearly before my enlightened sight. I was a parrot in the land of Trigarta and a frog at the beach of a river. I became a small bird in a forest and was then born in these woods. Having been a Pulinda hunter in Vindhya, then a tree in Bengal, and afterwards a camel in the Vindhya range, I am at last born in this forest. I, who have been a Chaktaka cuckoo in the Himalayas and a prince in Kandra province, then a mighty tiger in the forest of Saya Hill, and now become your elder brother. He who has been a vulture for 10 years, a shark for 5 months, and a lion for a full century, is now your elder brother in this place. I was a Chikora wood in the village of Endara, a ruler in the snowy regions, then a proud son of a priest named Sauyacharya in a hilly region. I remember the various customs and pursuits of different peoples on earth that I had to observe and follow in my repeated incarnations among them. In those different lives, I had many fathers and mothers, and many more brothers and sisters, and also friends and relatives, numbering hundreds and thousands. For whom shall I lament, and which shall I forget among this number? Shall I wail only for those I lose in this life? But there also are to be buried in oblivion like the rest, and such is the course of the world. Numberless fathers have gone by, and unnumbered mothers have also passed away and died. Innumerable generations of men have perished and disappeared like withered leaves falling off. There are no bonds, my boy, to our pleasures and pains in this terrestrial world. Lay them all aside and let us remain unmindful of all existence. Forsake your thoughts of false appearances. Relinquish your firm conviction of your own ego, and look at the ultimate course, which has led the learned to their final blessing. For what is this commotion of people except a struggle to rise and fall? Therefore, strive for neither, but live regardless of both, like a different sage. Live free from your cares of existence and non-existence. Then you shall be free from your fears of decay and death. Remember calmly yourself alone. You are the silent witness. Do not be like the ignorant. Do not allow anything or any accident to move you from your self-possession. Know that you have no birth nor death, no fortune or sorrow of any kind, no father or mother, and no friend or foe anywhere. You are only your pure spirit, the silent witness. You have nothing of an unspiritual nature. The world is a stage that presents many acts and scenes. Only those play their parts well who are excited neither by its passions and feelings. Now we'll continue. Established as the silent witness, perform the Trimana Sanyama procedure on the esoteric Mahamantra and balance all karmic traces that have arisen during this reading of Yoga Vasishta. Jay Gurudev.